Hey everyone, it's Jason. So we have another DC deck building pack. This is one of the first of the crossover packs. This is Justice Society of America, or JSA. So basically what the mini packs do is they add 7 new heroes, generally. I'm not going to say every single one adds 7, some might add 6, some might add 8. Just depends on the set. But they add a bunch of new heroes to play from a different theme. But yeah, new supervillains, equipments, heroes, locations, a little bit of everything. So there's 18 other cards in here, plus some rules. So you can choose some different heroes to play. You can just pick one of these up and cram them right in your deck. We're going to get a little bit of a rule, so it just specifies what this is about. And then specific card clarifications, and then some stuff about the villains. And they kind of mention in there, it's like, if you don't want to know what they are, then just shuffle them in quick, and then you don't have to see who everyone is. It kind of gives you a little bit of hidden reveals. But we're spoiling stuff on here because that's what we do. So we have the JSA members. We have Mr. Terrific. Once during each of your turns, you may discard a punch. If you do, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Draw 1 equipment revealed this way. Put the rest back in any order. We have Wildcat. First time you play a punch during each of your turns. If you have played a hero this turn, draw a card. If you have played a villain, draw a card. So you can get that twice, depending on what you did. J. Derek, the Flash. When a card tells you to draw 1 or more cards, before drawing, reveal the top card of your deck. You may discard it. So kind of like he gets the speed of drawing an extra card like the Flash, but he also gets the experience of looking at the card first, so you can see if he wants it. Alan Scott, Green Lantern. And I love the artwork on here. This is the oh boy, my brain just blanked on who does these. Alex Ross artwork. I love Alex Ross paintings. Each time you play a different superpower during your turn, reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card costs 0, draw it. We have like Dr. Fate. When you play 2 cards with consecutive costs in each turn, so like a 2-3 or a 5-6, you gain 1 power. If you play 3 cards with consecutive costs, you draw a card. So that's a little bit trickier one. Here you have a Power Girl. Each time you play a different superpower during your turn, put a punch from your discard pile in your hand. So you guys really like these, they're punches. And then we have Stargirl. So when you play a defense card during your turn or avoid an attack, you may draw a card and then discard a card. Alright, so those are our 7 new Justice Society members. And then let's look at our other cards. We have Liberty Bell, plus 2 power, defense. You may discard this to avoid an attack. If you do, draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your deck. Dr. Midnight, plus 2 power. Look at your top 2 cards of your deck. You may discard any number of them to put the rest back in any order. Citizen Steel, draw a card. Supervillains cost 1 less to defeat this turn for each punch you play or have played. These guys really love playing with their punches. I don't have all these sorted out all the time. Alright, and then we have a bunch of villains. We have Scythe. Plus 2 power. Each foe gains a weakness unless he reveals a starter from his hand. Per Degaton. He's like a time traveler. Plus 2 power. Discard any number of cards from your hand. Plus 1 power for each card you discard or have discarded this turn. Oh, that's super villains. Let's look at those guys last. Oh, they might all be super villains. That might be all we have for regular villains. They don't add a ton of each card. There's only a few of each different card type in here. So we have superpower. We have girl power. Plus 2 power, defense. You may reveal this card and discard it, or a punch to avoid an attack. If you do, draw a card. We have Mystic Bolts, +1 power, up to 2 cards, each of the cost of 5 or less, and each at different costs from your discard pile to your hand. So you get them numerous ones that rise up. We have some T-Spheres equipment, +2 power. Choose a card name, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, put all cards with that name into your hand, and put the rest on top in any order. These guys they like to play with punches, and they kind of like search around the decks a bit. And then we have a location. We have Monument Point. Ongoing, when you play your first punch during each turn, draw a card. Then we're going to get to the supervillains. Alright, so new slew of supervillains to play as. We have Solomon Grundy, who has 3 power and an ongoing stack ongoing. So when he's in play as a villain, he can't be defeated unless you play the starter card this turn. At the end of the game, Solomon Grundy is worth +1 BP for each starter in your deck. So he's your first one. Then we get Mordu the Merciless, 3 power. You may shuffle all cards of the cost of 1 or greater from your discard pile into your deck. Attack. Each player discards a cost of 3 or greater. Icicle. +3 power, choose a foe. That foe flips his superhero face down until the end of his next turn. Attack. Each player gains a weakness for each hero in the lineup. Cobra. Draw 4 cards, then discard 2 of those cards. Attack. Each player reveals top 5 cards of his deck, discards all cards at the cost of 1 or greater, puts the rest back in any order. Ultra Humanite. 2 power. Put any number of cards from your hand at the bottom of your deck, then draw that many cards. Attack. Each player gains 2 weakness and puts them on the bottom of their deck. The Gentleman Ghost. Put all cards with a cost of 0 from your discard pile into your hand. Then you may pass a card from your hand into the discard pile to each foe. Attack. Each player destroys 2 different cards with a cost of 1 or greater in his discard pile. Eclipsos. Now we have a 14. I don't think we've had a 14 yet. I think the highest they went up to is 13. At least in the main series. You are considered to have the game text of each foe's superhero. Each foe discards the top card of his deck. You may play each of the discard cards this turn, then return them to their discard pile. Attack. Each player discards a card for each villain in his hand. And then our final boss, who has a blue back, just so you know he's always the final one, is Gog from Kingdom. I keep thinking Kingdom Come because that's the artwork. This is artwork style with Alex Ross, but this is a regular version. Ongoing stack. At the start of each player's turn, he discards a card unless he destroys a card in his discard pile. Attack. Each player discards a random card. The players that discard cards at the highest cost discards an additional card, and he's 15. So they definitely up some ante, give you some different villains to play as. Yeah, so not a ton of extra cards. There's a bunch of different villains, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 brand new cards. So just shuffling these into any deck isn't going to make that big of a deal. None of them really have anything that you have to look for. They do recommend, if you want to get these cards more often, anytime you're adding stuff to a new deck. So if I was going to add these to the base game, I take my base game deck, have it all shuffled, cut it in half, maybe even into fourths, and I put these guys either in the top half or the top quarter, just because in that way you have a better, that way you're going to draw them in the game. If you shuffle them, they can end up somewhere near the bottom, and you might never get to see them. Especially some of the later crossover packs, because they'll have effects that kind of play off of each other. But you could definitely just see here from the table, they could even do like a second Justice Society pack, because they only did 7 heroes, so you could do Damage, Sandman, Team Thunder, Starman. They have Liberty Bell in there, but they didn't have her as a main character. They didn't do Our Man. They had Dr. Midnight as a card, but not one that you could not a hero. Hawkman, and it's Tornado, but it's not just Tornado. I don't remember her name. But yeah, there's definitely more characters they could do. So they always could have done like a second one or a full big box, but I don't think these guys are as known as all the other characters, I guess. Alright, so that's what we got. A little short video for the crossover pack. We got a bunch more of those to go through, so check out those. Check out all the big box sets. See you guys later. Bye.